Billie Eilish trends are sort of random. They'll just like all of a sudden some Friday, it's just all of a sudden the whole world of music changes, right? No, I mean at least
Yeah,
on YouTube, like all of a sudden, like everybody has a new video,
it's
that's
true.
a cover or lesson of her new song. But dude, Phineas is pretty bomb, so I gotta
He is
say.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I look forward to hearing the songs that he writes when he's like 10 years older. Because right now, all of the songs are like pretty much about getting laid. And that's okay, because that's like where he's at in his life, right? And that's cool. Like, so in 10 years, right, when he kind of mellows out and becomes a little bit more serious, I think he'll
Yeah.
be writing some incredibly bomb stuff. Just solo, man.
Something deep.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, what are the last 5 songs he's written? Like, Let's Do It and Forget We Met and shit. Like, Rashad's into that kind of stuff, right? You're still into writing those
Um,
kind of songs.
Totally. I mean, it's funk music. You gotta, if you're not talking about fried food, sex, or like disco parties or drugs
Fried
or
food.
alcohol, I don't know what you're doing.
Let's do the song Cheeseburger in Paradise now.
Oh
Right?
no, let's
Yeah.
not go there. Jimmy Buffett is a long way from funk, Jennifer.
I know, I'm kidding. I just said fried food, so.
Okay, fried food. Okay, that was your end with that one. Okay, I get that.
I never understood. It's like Jimmy Buffett is like pride and joy of New Orleans, and I'm like, I don't see it. I'm just like, where is the New Orleans in this
Oh.
music?
From Florida, man. That's one of the things I hated the most. The 3 things I hated the most about gigging in Florida. Number one, the rainstorms. Everybody always wanted music outside all the time. They never wanted to provide you any kind of cover. And in Florida, right, it'll just all of a sudden out of nowhere, insane lightning, and then it'll be over in 30 minutes or whatever. But your gear's ruined. You're fighting from getting electrocuted. Okay, right. Then the second thing was most of the places that let you play inside were smoky, right? So
Oh.
I hated that, right? And then the third thing about playing gigs in Florida that I hated was the fucking Jimmy Buffett requests. And then you'd suck it up and you'd be like, all right, you bought me a drink, I'll sing Margaritaville for you. And they're like, no man, you gotta do another Jimmy Buffett song, not Margarita. Oh, fuck you, man. I wish I could puke up this beer you bought me and not have drank it.
Oh my god, I got a good one. I did a wedding one time on saxophone, and the mosquitoes are another reason not to gig
Oh.
outside in Florida. I was like
Yeah.
playing like this. Oh my lord.
Honestly, I could be a pincushion. Like if I'm in my element and like I'm playing my saxophone, I could have 3 mosquitoes biting me at once and I won't notice until I stop playing. Like seriously, they've like filled up like they're like about to bloom and about to pop, and I haven't even noticed yet.
Sorry.
I mean, Portland's not that much different, Like right now, we're only doing outdoor gigs and stuff like that. And we had a gig like 2 weeks ago, and it was kind of like pseudo raining. And the guy who owned the venue, he's like, "Oh, you guys still gonna come out? It's just a little bit of rain." I'm like, "Dude, this is a 1,000-watt bass amp. I will literally die if it gets wet. Like 0% chance I'm coming out there,
Yep. Yep.
Oh God.
Yep. I mean, you at least got to provide us a nice big tent to put our shit under, at least.
Minimum.
Saxophone and flute can get ruined in the rain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. If I had to replace my tenor saxophone, I mean that's like $3,000, and my tenor saxophone's not expensive for a tenor saxophone. Like my alto saxophone's more expensive than that. Like I ain't gonna take that outside in the rain,
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those kind of constant battles. I was talking to my mentor about this like not too long ago, where a lot of the venues are not there to necessarily facilitate the music. They allow the music to facilitate the selling of alcohol and or food.
Makes sense.
And it's kind of one of those constant dilemmas where this spot we were at recently, we were the first band to ever play there. I seen they had some extra space, and I was like, "Hey, I have a stage and some speakers. Can we like play some music and you kick us a couple $100?" And he was like, "Totally." That spot kind of blew up, and then now there's like all sorts of bands trying to play there and stuff. So he realized he could start paying other bands less and cut us out because it's like, oh well, the Hot Minute wants $200-300. I can get this other band for $100. Like, I'm saving all this money, and I still have the live music and stuff like that. And I wish it was more like venues that were like here, like, hey, this is a music venue. Like, we are here to bring good music in a high quality environment, and the but it's like it takes somebody like the one venue I know of that does this for sure. Terrapin Station, Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead. He built a music venue in Colorado, and it's just that. It's perfectly treated for specifically to serve the music. The placement of everything is to serve the music, and granted, and people come because they know that that's the experience you're going to get there, and it really sucks, as you start gigging out more and stuff, you start seeing like, oh, this place is not, we got set up on a 4x4 stage, like made out of pallets, and you expect a drummer and a bass player and everybody else to get up on the stage and play for $100.
That's not a problem for me because I got my wireless, so I just roam anyway. I don't even need a spot on the stage. I just need a place to stick my amp, but that's it. See, no, I was playing the last gig we did. I played my saxophone with that wireless microphone, and I had my guitar amp as a monitor. And that was the smartest thing I ever did, because my one gripe with the sound man in Portland was that unless I was like blowing my fucking brains out, it was like obvious that I was playing a solo, they just turned my mic off. You couldn't fucking hear it. They gave you recordings, and my saxophone just wasn't recorded. It just wasn't there, or whatever you said.
Well, that whole recording was... there was no gain staging done, and the sound man showed up like an hour late, and he's like, oh man, you guys sounded great. I'm super excited to get you these recordings. I get them, and it's like, the files, like, you can't even see the audio forms on it, and I was just like, dude, like, what the fuck, That venue in
like
particular is notorious for not being very professional, but it was a fun gig nonetheless. I remember having a pretty good time.
Oh yeah, oh man, we played good, but my cell phone recording came out better. My wife standing there with my fucking Android sounded better than the shit oh man.
Dude, that little Android video has gotten us gigs before. I've sent that to people, and they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. We had that girl Chris singing with us, I think, at that time. That didn't last very long. Graham was still playing the electronic percussion. He's playing like real congas now,
He's not using the pad anymore?
No, we sold the pad to fund like a real set of congas. So he's studying, Giovanni Hidalgo and all those Afro-Cuban guys, and like being like, okay, if I'm going to play this instrument, I'm going to like do it for real, and so that's been, which kind of segues me into an idea that since I have two YouTubers could be a good discussion. So, I'm putting together like a new studio band sort of, which is essentially just a group of guys going to get together and try and make an album. And I kind of have this rough idea of like, okay, let's record the music, and get it mixed and mastered, an actual album, but also like documenting the whole thing with cameras and having someone there doing all that, and kind of releasing some of that YouTube content as well as the music and stuff, because it seems like today in entertainment, it's more about the volume of content, not necessarily being like, hey, here's this one thing that's really great, like, I hope you guys dig it. It's like, no, here's all the stuff that was involved for this one thing, and it's all kind of just a part of this pile of content. With that being said, what do you guys think about something like that in terms of YouTube and collab in sort of with the actual album itself?
Well, I'm doing some collabs, as many as I can, but it's tough.
Actually, I think if you're willing to do that, it's like people love to see the background, like, of what's going on. That's why so many documentaries are being released by YouTube. I don't know if you guys realize that, like the private, when you pay to get in on YouTube, for big artists, they are releasing like a lot of documentary style type of videos in series. So it's something that people really are willing to watch. And if you're gonna do, like, do actually in a style of a documentary, like put people talking about what they are thinking, like, oh, today we are going to record this music, and there is this and this person here, what they are feeling about the music, what are their thoughts on the day, and things like that. Like, it's gonna be really cringe what I'm going to say, but like, have you ever watched The Kardashians? So sort of like that. I'm not joking, not like faking drama or stuff, but having a background so you can sit and give your thoughts, and then you intercalate with footage of you guys playing around and doing stuff and things like that, you know? This kind of shit sells, and it's like, I made something kind of similar. I tried doing it in my first, like, when I was putting my first EP, and people really digged it. Like, people really liked it.
That's cool.
See, that's the type of thing I wouldn't even have thought about. I was like, oh yeah, we'll just record it and put some stuff together, see what happens, you know.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a really interesting concept, and I think, you know, getting a good videographer in there and then having them be like, hey, can I interview you real quick, you know, and because this is the idea, is that the majority of these guys that I'm putting together for this, we haven't really played together before. So, you know, I kind of want it to be the type of thing. It's like, hey, let's get in here. Here's a rough structure. Let's rehearse it a little bit. Hit record for 2 or 3 takes, and then see what happens. And just like trusting everybody's musical instinct, you know. And it's like, look, there's just a couple guidelines, you know, and just try to do this really sort of egoless type of thing, and just keep it more organic, you know, like a jam, but structured to the point where it's like,
Yeah.
people would still want to listen to this.
What works
Yeah.
for me is, you know, finish the song as best as you can, mix it as best as you can. I'm not saying, you know, you have to use the exact mix you send me, but, you know, get it 95 to 99% done, and then I'll put my shit on.
Yeah, and I think with this project, you know, it's the type of thing where I really want to capture the energy of people just like getting together, which is kind of weird during COVID and stuff. And I know you're out in Forest Park or something like that, so. But I think the one thing that I really like about your saxophone playing in particular is that it is very vocal. So, you know, there's been times where, I don't know if you remember the song we were working on, the Summer Jam. It was
Oh, yeah.
your saxophone line ended up becoming the vocal melody for the singer.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And I love that, like, about your playing. It's like, hey, I'm having a hard time hearing a vocal melody. Let me get Matthew on some saxophone over here, and then I transcribe it, and that works really well. It's worked multiple times. Like on Sky High, it worked just as well, too, on that F power thing.
Mm-hmm.
But,
That one's
hey, we
like,
should jam our Summer Jam.
are you still using that?
Both of those songs don't really get played much anymore. They got road tested and didn't really make the grade. So
You're talking about that one where it's like, that one?
yep, that's the one. That's
Yeah.
I think
That
I'm
is
gonna.
so cool.
Yeah, it's something.
Play that,
like,
play that.
No, it's sorry. It's.
Yeah, that idea.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I was actually just thinking on the drive home this morning that I was like, that song didn't work well, like live, but revamping it to kind of maybe keeping that descending progression, and then just dropping into, because instead, what the song normally does is kind of goes into this real like low tempo washy like. You know, then back, and then eventually it keeps descending. I'm like, you know,
Double time.
Nobody wants to dance to that. But if I was just like,
There you go. That's what I'm saying. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I think it'd be a little bit more fun.
See?
That was
Just
awesome.
making shit up, right?
That was awesome.
There's only
Good.
12 notes, and I played them all. And I played a bunch of shit in between them.
That was so cool.
You know, that's the funny thing. It's like I stopped playing that song probably like 4 or 5 months ago, and then just this morning driving home, no coffee, I mean, totally out of my mind still. You know, like I was like, oh, what if I changed it? And like for some reason I didn't bother crossing my mind. I was like, nope, the song's set, can't do anything about it. Which I'm really glad that it's came to me like that. You know, it's inspiration is it can be fickle sometimes. You know.
Dude, that's an excellent topic for the next room. I got 2 minutes left on this Zoom room. Don't worry, man. Someday I'm going to get enough Patreons that I'm going to be able to afford the $15 a month
Yes!
to be able to upgrade and have longer Zoom meetings without these interruptions. So make sure you guys go to patreon.com/Matthew's Music Lesson Studio and sign up $1 a month. And we're going to come up with some bonus content out of here. I don't know. Maybe that jam we just did was bonus. I don't know. Something is going to be bonus. So make sure you guys sign up right now. Thank you very much for joining me on Matthew's Music Lesson Studio. Please share this video, like, and subscribe. And did you know that you can get online music lessons from me on Zoom? I record it MP4 for you, and you can then review that lesson forever. You can have it so we can go over it, you can practice along with it, and then that way, no matter what, you can relax and enjoy the lesson. So please, MatthewsMusicLessonStudio.com. I'll see you guys next time on Matthew's Music Lesson Studio.